Hey everybody, Jerb here. Today I want to talk about The Secret Invasion.
And what is that?
Well, it's a comic series that's being very loosely adapted into a Marvel TV series for the MCU, and in particular, I want to talk about how I hope it will infiltrate the Marvel Future Fight game. I've been literally sitting on this video since 2021, Christmas time-ish, as you can see by having Black Cat on the main page of Marvel Future Fight. Anyways, the Skrulls have actually been in-game since Captain Marvel came out in the Legendary Battle Quests here. In particular, Talos himself has been in-game, and he even has his own icon. So this idea I've actually proposed on the forums and on Twitter and stuff numerous times before, but it would essentially take all the regular modes and then replace people hidden in modes at random, like a 5% chance playing any mode that another character, after you defeat them, would shapeshift into a Skrull, revealing themselves to then unlock a Skrull fight or Skrull battle, which, if you then defeated that, would open up biometrics to unlock either a Skrull or Talos himself, which I think would be pretty damn brilliant in the long run, because then it's encouraging people to play all modes to find where you can find the biometrics hidden within all the modes we already play, or don't play for that matter, because there's a lot of modes that actually do kind of suck. Then, compounding off of that, I thought it would be cool if there was a mode where if you chose Talos, you could choose to play as, like, you'd be loaded in as a random other character and play with their skills and such. And then maybe, like, if it was an evil version of him, at least, where when you play a co-op mode, once the co-op mode's done, your Skrull self would reveal itself, and then you'd have to fight the other two players. Obviously, that would be an absolute nightmare to do logistically to make it fair and balanced, because obviously whales would wipe the floor with newbies, stuff like that. But I just thought it was an intriguing idea that'd be like, oh, that'd be really awesome. A very cool, interesting way to up the ante on the game with something just completely out of the norm. It would also enhance the distrust and paranoia that the Skrull invasion should be doing, which Captain Marvel completely lacked on. I mean, hell, the Skrull's whole biological makeup is based on the art of deception. That's what it's supposed to be. Seriously, really lean into that aspect.
But now I stand before you as my true self.
I mean, I think the only game that's ever done it pretty damn well to create a paranoia invasion film where you can't trust anybody is the old The Thing video game, which is, God, had to be like 2000, 2002-ish. And that was a phenomenal, I mean, it wasn't handled super well, but the idea behind it was absolutely phenomenal. Every playthrough, you couldn't trust anybody because anyone could become a thing at any time. It's absolutely bonkers how well they handled it, despite not having really the good tech to make it work. But considering it's 20 years, I'm sure they can condense it and put it in Marvel Future Fight in a way that works, at least functionally okay. So players could both be Skrulls or fight Skrulls. I mean, there might need to be two modes, but I really think it would be cool to just have the hidden ones hidden throughout every game mode. Like, random storyline levels, maybe have world bosses or world boss legends being, you know, infiltrated by Skrulls, and then you find out, like, the screen shifts, and then the Skrull changes after realizing it's been defeated, and then you have a secondary boss fight, or an extension to the level itself. In addition, we need a desperately reworked Nick Fury uniform. Particularly, I like the scarred eye look with the beanie from all the trailers. It's just badass.
You're in no shape for this fight that lies before us, old friend.
In-game, he's been in no shape to do anything outside of barely a decent leadership. I mean, it still works functionally, but really, he could have such an incredible rework to be the most sought-after leadership in the game. He rightfully should be as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. And now for this next part, it's more parody or just a bug that I noticed in Timeline months and months ago, which makes me wonder if this has been implemented and we've been invaded already. There's something weird going on where we get all these agent random numbers, and they're always like mediocre accounts. So I'm wondering if they've been seeding this over and over as we've been going through the months, because I've been seeing this random agent, like agent random numbers, over and over and over. Granted, they just could be expired accounts that keep going, but if you see here, like, I fight them consistently in Timeline, and sometimes I get like the same 1000 pointer like over and over and over. Like here, I'll go into my fight thing. I think one of them repeats like 3 times. I don't know if it was this video or not, but it just seems something very weird. And then I noticed they've been infiltrating my own alliance. Now, I must repeat, I do believe this is just an error or a bug. It might be a visual bug where their names aren't appearing, or it's just accounts that died off and they just have them on backlog with a random number or something. I don't know, but it just seemed like, to me, it was just funny. Over all this time I've been considering and thinking about this cool way to implement a way to have fake other players being actually Skrulls invading parts of the game. And then I started noticing this. I was like, holy crap, I feel like a conspiracy theorist. And honestly, that's giving the devs way too much credit for something really cool to be implemented in the game. So I highly doubt this is what's happened. Like, I honestly believe it's probably just like some kind of visual bug with names or old accounts or some crap. But anyways, how cool would that be if they had been seeding these as fake players kind of infiltrating all over the game, and then all of a sudden they're going to turn into Skrulls one day and we have to battle them in various modes as, you know, secondary or tertiary battles in things like a hidden level or whatnot. I don't know, I just thought that'd be a super awesome way to do things. I mean, hell, just playing with this idea, most of the accounts are relatively low leveled. Most of the characters don't know what they're doing, so it could tie in with like a meta narrative that all the Skrulls are just adapting to human life and they can't do it quite well enough, or Marvel Future Fight player life and they're just not good enough quite yet, which, I don't know, it's just food for thought, something interesting. But yeah, I just thought it was really cool that as soon as like a couple of years ago or a year ago or whatever, when I was thinking about this, I noticed this and was like, oh my god, this is messed up. So I don't have too high hopes of them implementing a true secret invasion in the game. I mean, hell, it would be even awesome if they snuck in like a cow level from Marvel Heroes 2016 and on, where you go and all the Skrulls are hiding as cows, where they're all like moo 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 moo, and then if you listen closely, one in the background's just like quack. I don't know, there's just a hilarious callback to the cow level from Diablo 2, but that was a nice Skrull take. I mean, hopefully they can throw in anything small like that. But in the meantime, the most I can really hope for is maybe the Fury uniform, possibly get a Maria Hill in-game finally, and then Talos or another generic Skrull character. Well, if you've made it this far, apologies for all my rambling. I just have sat on this idea for a super long time and decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to throw up a video about it. It's been long overdue, and then the show came out like 2 weeks ago, which I already said I'm super disappointed in. They could have made something much more like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just straight up paranoia invasion where nobody trusts anybody, and unfortunately it's generic mishmash of crap. It's just nowhere near what it could be. Like, I mean, hell, Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Thing, the original Thing film, both did amazing paranoia horror in, what, an hour and a half? So a show could easily do that without question. They're pulling their punches and making generic diet, caffeine-free paranoia invasion. It's just garbage. I mean, there's still a few episodes left. It could turn it around. Anyways, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. It'd be much appreciated if you commented, or subscribed. I also had a video like months ago about what they could do to improve and fix the danger room, if you want to check that one out. Like, I had an idea for that was pretty lengthy, but having its own bosses and then having a sub boss that randomized every 2% of the time. Arcade would take over the danger room, and you get a complete rework of the danger room within the danger room, which would be super amazing. Anyways, much appreciated. You guys all have a good night. And a happy 4th of July Independence Day today. Woohoo!